Oy oy v'sein b'leveinu le'yavin. Everybody. Mehdi, אתה יכול לעזור? Mazel Tov Rabbi Sai. The final daf of my favorite Masechta, Maseches Avodah Zarah. Breakfast is sponsored by Peretz Chaim Levin, dedicated to Moavi Rabbi Rebelli. I did not read this yet. Dedication to disseminate and to include all of Klal Yisrael in the learning of Torah, Hakidoisha, and Mazel Tov to all of them, Mesaimim. By Eli Berkowitz, thanks to Hashem for protecting my son Shmuel through a very dangerous accident and returning him to us safe and sound. Yeah. So this Shabbos, there won't be a shir on Friday morning, I don't think. I'm going to be in the hotel Thursday night? No? We're canceling? Okay. So we'll make a notification one way or the other. Last night here in the shir, one of those MDY Hashgacha Pratis, one-of-a-kind story happened. I want to share with you. There's a weekly raffle for Chazara. There's 550 people enter the raffle. You do Chazara. Every daf Chazara, you get one ticket. Check out the story. Phenomenal story, I think. No, this was not it. Okay, here, this one, right over here. This is live. Kid screams out. A kid won. Check this out. Look what happened. רגע, זה אתה? $1,000? עשית פעם בחיים שלך $1,000? לכן התלבשתם עניבה? למה? רגע, מה קורה? זה הפעם ראשונה שהוא מגיע. Drove in from Kiryat Ata to see the shir. They all dressed up with ties and suits. Shabbos clothes, because it's the first time in MDY. His first time in MDY, he wins $1,000, this kid. 2-hour drive, first time in his life. It's a siyum, so he dressed up with a tie. I thought he's coming for a chassan or bar mitzvah. No, he came to MDY. כמה דף עשית חזורה? בוא נשמע. כמה הכנסת לשם?
7 דפים.
כן? זה אמיתי?
כן.
שלום עליכם.
His grandfather's חבר כנסת.
אתה עושה את הדף או רק הוא עושה את הדף?
Gula, something.
קודם כל זה התחיל...
בוא.
Get over here in Hebrew. We need a better way to
רגע,
say
מישהו
it.
סיפר לי שהגעתם חצי שעה מוקדם ולקחתם תמונות כאן והצטלמתם כאן.
He was standing over here before the shear, taking pictures and the whole thing. We're very
לא,
excited.
באמת, לא יודע, אנחנו
He
לא
wears a
יודעים,
frock, this guy. He's our, I didn't realize, he tells me, I'm the head of the
שלום עליכם, איך קוראים לך?
רחובות.
דניאל מה?
מיכאלי. אני מרחובות.
אוקיי.
זה גיסי.
כן.
אני התחלתי, נתתי לבן שלי, הוא אמר לבן שלו, והוא התחיל ושתיהם עושים ברכה.
עכשיו $1,000. הוא יותר גביר ממך.
Okay, anyway.
וכמה אתה?
To make a long story, he's the head of the group in Rehovot, that guy. Michaeli. All right, Siyum Masechet Avodah Zarah in Central Jersey, MDY Belgium, Borough Park, West Hempstead, Baltimore. Rabbi said last night the oilam was on fire. First of all, there's not a seat in the house. There was 12 people standing in the back. I'll show you a picture of it that I took. But just these locations, the remote locations, one location had 50 people in it. Check this out, it's not normal. The neighbor had about 50 people, they say. There's a guy giving tickets outside. Huh? The voice said there's a guy giving tickets outside, so if you parked illegally, anyway, we shouldn't be parking illegally and making the neighbors upset. And we caused them now to put gates down, the whole thing.
Parking lot at the end.
Huh?
Parking lot at the end.
There's a parking lot in the beginning of our street. Like you have to, large parking lot, 30 spots. It's a 2-minute walk up the road. Here, one more time. This is Bnei Brak. Take a look how many people are there. In Bnei Brak, it's unbelievable. There's 2 places in Bnei Brak, but this is the guy that he rents this place just for this year. And he has signs everywhere, MDY. All right. I'll just skip this because we got to go. It says over here, he brings from the Nefesh HaChaim, so I want to read it. You're allowed to stop in the middle of learning Torah. You have permission to stop for a moment. It says Mefurish over here, you're allowed to say stories and jokes in the middle of learning. Not mamish. These are great emails, and I gotta say, if you plan on sending a really good email, it better be really good, because in the next Masechta, I'm probably gonna have to take out some of the emails in the beginning. The dapim are very, very long, just to read them. It's not hard, but long, like in brachas. So we're gonna have to cut down. So for like a couple of weeks, we're not gonna read that many emails. 2 weeks. This is great, Rabbi Say, check this out. This is a good one. The Olam liked it a lot in Hebrew. He's 4 years old. We're up to 22 locations. Yesterday we were up to 20 locations in Eretz Yisrael, 22. 2 more popped up. And here's a new one. The guy says, I had inspiration to start one. I'm starting it tonight. Kiryat HaYovel. Ashdod. He wrote something about, he wasn't sure he's going to do it in the morning. In the evening, he says, I'm going to do it. In Daled, they also started. So I don't know, we're holding about 22 now. What's this? Rabbi said, I'm making a macha, for real. It's very cute. I'm making a macha right now. While I'm still It's Nachum Horowitz's wedding. It's Gishmak, it's Gewaldik. But listen, seriously. What if, forget the whole shtos and everything, but what if there's another person that was debating whether to join MDY or not, and he sees that? It's a chilul MDY, I think. Do not do that again, please. Thank you. What? One last one. This is important for getting more people. Says Gershi Rose, who brought over 100 people, I believe, to the Daf. He says, so far I got 10 people for Ariel, and the status clips groups is on fire. We're about to hit 2,000 people. They have 2,000 people in one group, the status group. That's where you get all the shorts and everything. These aren't just people who view the statuses. They're ones actually posting the content and sharing with the shorts. Thank you for plugging it. Nothing works like a status. It's hands down the best way to recruit, unless you're going to go out like Peretz Chaim Levin standing in the shopping mall. Kind regards, Gershi Rose. And this is also something I can't read right now. Givaldik. Okay. Rabbi Isai, sponsors. Wow. Got to show you the picture of last night. So, Rabbi Naftali got a seat. Last night there was 12 people standing in the back, if I counted correctly. It was packed and Givaldik. That's how we like it. Ashdod, brand new place. Telstone, Rechasim, Beitar Yilit. Did a little bit of a theme, I guess. Outside Masa. This is Bnei Brak. David Salomon, the Masechta is sponsored by the following people. David Salomon, dedicated memory of Avi Moir Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doi Zichron Levrocha. Anonymous, Tzloch Baruch Nis V'Gashmis L'Zchus L'Chinu B'nei Yisrael. Anonymous, may our learning be a shield of protection, a source of unity and blessing for Am Yisrael. Joel Gedalius, Lili Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius. Monthly sponsors TCS Israel Power by Talk and Save. Anonymous, Refuah Shleima, Sarah Bat Motorab, and Shira Bat Sarah. Aaron Kessler, in honor of the marriage of my son and my daughter, am I relocating to Eden Gardens in Orlando, Florida? Oh, I know the guy that developed it. Givaldi. Anonymous, as a schus for continued success in Parnassa and to be able to support Torah and those in need. Daily sponsors Yoshi Weiss, in honor of Peretz Chaim Levin l'schus hatzlacha and all the Yonim. What happened was, I'll tell you the story. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but too bad. He didn't tell me not to. Yoshi went to buy an art scroll. It cost 200 shekel here in Art Scroll. And he was about to pay, and Peretz Chaim Levin said, no, I'm taking care of it. So Yoshi went ahead and paid it forward. Anonymous, Lili Nishmas Ovi, Yitzchok Isaac Ben Yeshua, Sonny Halwani and family in honor of Rabbi David Cohen, Rosh Yeshiva of Avodah Torah, and Daf Yomi Magid Shir. Sonny Halwani is with us forever, since Brachas probably. Anonymous, safe return of all the hostages and Refuah Shleima L'chol Chayli Am Yisrael, Amen. Hilaneli Ederi, Lili Nishmat, Imenu, Amalia, Bat Eliyahu. Ilan Davidovich, Ilan Davidovich. We should all be zoicha to your bracha of Keboiloi Kach Poltoi. Nice. Okay, somebody remembered that one. Anonymous, I got it. Let's do it again. We all need this. Rabbi Davidovich and Eli Stefansky. Keboiloi Kach Poltoi. Thank you. Anonymous, Refuas, Yehudis, Nechama, Basara, Rachel is undergoing a major surgery today. Refuah Shleima. Anonymous, Refuah Shleima for Yosef Yeshua Ben Frimet Bela. Refuah Shleima. Monthly sponsors Yorat Aneta Mebeshav Bracha for Refuah Shleima. And Refuah Shleima Mordechai Ben Esther. Refuah Sayelet Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Turning it up. Okay. Weiter. So here we are. Final daf of Avodah Zarah. Ooh, am I going to miss Avodah Zarah? I'm going to continue doing Chazar Beis Hashem on a constant thing, but I'm missing giving the shir. I was zoicha to give shiurim in Austria. I was very excited that it was Avodah Zarah, and that was easier Masechta. I was in all over America, Miami, and in Utah. It was Gishmak. Very Gishmak. Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Rav Ravu, Leishanu Ela Belekuchen. What we're talking about, Tvilas Kalim, when you buy a Kli from a non-Jew, it's when you buy it. Now what a Daf Ayin Hey Amud Beis, 20 lines from the bottom. What about if you borrow a Kli from a guy? What about if the Kli... Oh, how you doing, Dan? Shalom Aleichem, you just snuck under the radar. We'll get to the guest soon. We have to come up with a system, I'm not kidding, we have to come up with a system that if you're a guest and you don't want to be called out, there are people that are embarrassed, they don't want to talk on camera or whatever, we have to come up with something. Maybe they have a red card, they wear a green yarmulke, I don't know what. We got to come up with a system. Somebody just wrote me an email that her son really wants to come to this year, but he's scared I'm going to ask him his name. So what do we do? I know, and there's people that I heard this before. Anybody here doesn't want me to call their name? Raise your hand. Anybody here? Some people are dying for it. Like, why didn't you call my name already? Okay, we got to come up with a system. What?
Hold the bobblehead.
Hold.
You're holding a bobblehead.
Okay, so what if you? It's just Dan Rubinoff just threw me off there in the middle of a sentence. He scared me. You gotta warn me that you're coming. Shalom Aleichem. He used to be the guy that was in a shir in the most locations. I don't know if it still holds true.
Somebody emailed me last night. He said that your ADD was off the charts yesterday.
Gewaldig. That's even a better shir. This is for ADDers, and Mamish fits him right. I try to be ADD even though I'm not. So yesterday I worked out. It's great. Yeah, I got a few complaints. So that's why I read that thing that you're allowed to talk in middle.
Right there.
I have ADD. You have. Okay. Zok Gemara. Yeah, we have a half hour to do this. Not a big deal. What if a guy gives you collateral? You gave him a loan. Think about it. You gave him a loan and he gave you a collateral, a kli. Are you allowed to use the kli without a tvila? Yes, no. What do you guys say? We have to see. You must purchase it in order to be chayev in tvila. Like the story in the Torah by Midian, where Klai Yisrael acquired these kalim, and it became theirs 100%. Aval shu'ulin, but if you borrow, loy, doesn't require tvila. Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef Zova Mona de Mardo. In those days, people were so poor. It's incredible what they would do. They would literally use these kind of vessels. It's crazy. Take a bunch of animal dung and
odorless manure bowl cup for sale.
It's an odorless one. Mamish Givaldik. But does it require tvila or not? He thought maybe I should be toivel. I was told from Rabbi Yochanan, it's only metal kalim. What about glass? I might be the one that I have one of the world records in tefillas kalim. I once was toivel thousands and thousands of dishes in one day, in one go. Why? Because I was a caterer. And it was all the way in the beginning when I bought all the glasses, all the shot glasses, all the wine glasses, all the regular glasses. You're talking about thousands. Because sometimes you have a chassan of 500, 600 and there's double sitting there. Well, I didn't do one by one. Put them in they come in these cases of like 36 or whatever. Put the whole case in, shake it around, make sure the water gets everywhere. It's a whole. If somebody else has that record, let me know. So we're going to see, zchuchas at the end of the day, glass is not a deraisa, it's the rabbanon. The reason why you're chayav b'tvila is because perhaps you can fix it like this. If it has a hole, a giant hole, you blow some glass into it. Again, people were so poor that if there was a breakage, a chip, you're not going to throw it out. This is like a month's salary to get a kli made out of glass. Today, made in China, 10 cents. Somebody told me last night, he was at a something in Lakewood. They took all the glassware and threw it into the garbage. What's going to start washing now? Glassware into the garbage. It's just like disposal. It's cheap today. I mean, it's not that cheap.
The glass is like metal that you
Yeah.
melt it down.
Right. You can melt it down and start all over. Yeah. Over here, it's talking about that you can fix it. That's the coolest thing. I just had a shaila. You think about it for a second. What about if plastic was around in the time of the Gemara? Would they make a gzera to be toivel like glass?
Depends if it's hard or soft. Hard, the ones that use it.
Hard. You remind me. The Yushami lady said she doesn't understand why people buy the chad pa'ami, the disposable. It's so hard to wash. Yeah. So, anyway, think about it. I don't know what the answer is. I think Ramosha says plastic for sure is not chayiv and anything. But would chachamim go into their head in those days? They didn't have plastic. What if they had plastic? The Gemara says it's like metal because you can fix it. What about kunya? Kunya is earthenware. Earthenware we know is not chayiv in tvila, but kunya has, after they take this earthenware, they give it a nice coating of one of the healthiest materials known to man, which is lead. A geschmacka lead covering. One says that you go by the original kli, which is earthenware potter. You go by the end product, which is lead, and lead is chayav b'tfila. And the halacha is that it's like the lead. It's a kli mateches. Iboilu. Mashkantamai. What if a guy gives you a beautiful silver kli? When I was doing, I thought you could ask Yochanan Itzkowitz. One of the stories, besides burning my hand, is that a woman showed up there. She shows up with 6 golden bechers. Golden bechers. That I've never seen that in my life. I never saw one, but she had 6 for the seder. Each person in her family, obviously a wealthy woman, comes in. She does hagalas kelim on the gold bechers. So let's say this is what the Gemara is talking about. That's the story. In a second, a guy gives a nice silver becher, a golden becher. Give me a loan for $1,000. I'll give you a golden becher. Now, could the Jew use that golden becher when it's in his house? Let's say he has permission to use it. Could he use it? Is it his or it's the guy's? It's a collateral. Is collateral yours or the other guy's? So the son of Rav Ashi says, my father Rav Ashi, who wrote the Gemara, gave a loan to a non-Jew, to idol worshiper, and he got in return a silver cup, and he was toivelet, he was makbet to be toivelet, vishtibei, and he drank from it. I don't know, is it because a collateral is considered as if it's yours 100%, or you notice that 6 years later and the guy's not paying up, then I'm going to take control of this vessel. What?
And toivel it. Why did he toivel it?
He's toivel because it was his. Because the guy's never going to pay him back. Quick Bart. I said the story before, but it fits right in here for me. I thought about it this morning. It was part of it I said last night, but today it just came together. My father-in-law donated a Sefer Torah to this Mekubal. Back in the day, there was a person, his name was Rav Mandel. Those who know, he lived right across the street from Shach in Bnei Brak back in the day. I'm talking about 30 years ago. And, by the way, I have to stop, ADD. Today is a very, very special day for me, for real, today. 30 years ago, I became a father for the first time. Today is my B'char's birthday, Ariel. Happy birthday. Should be zoicha to steig and grow in what you're doing in Yiddishkeit and in everything else that you're doing. So, 31 years ago, my father-in-law donated a Sefer Torah to Rav Mandel, and he asked him for a bracha. And after I got married, my father-in-law says, we got to go see Rav Mandel. I got to speak to him, dachuf. So we went to Rav Mandel, and my father-in-law goes in there. I'll never forget this. He says, the Rebbe. He says, yeah. He says, the Rebbe gave me a bracha for a shidduch for my daughter, and the Rebbe said that she should marry a cheverman. Rebbe, the bracha was too strong. Take it back. Emes, I was there. So I want to say that Chachamim, they davened that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should take away the Yitzhahara of Avodah Zarah. And it worked. But I think it worked too strong. We have such a Yitzhahara from Masechtas Avodah Zarah that's Ein L'Shire. It went the opposite. It was Mamish. Got rid of Avodah Zarah, but Mamish, Avodah Zarah, is it everybody's favorite Masechta? Come on. It's not unbelievable. It's unbelievable. All right. Zog the Gemara. Huh? Everybody has theirs. For me, it's this one. Ibayelu, we said already. When a person buys something, so this is easy stuff, Rabbi, so we know these halachas inside out. It comes from here. You purchase something from the store. Something that you never used before. All you do is put in the mikvah, cold mikvah. It's tar. That's called tfilas kelim. If it was already used, you bought a used pot, but only used and cold. Kigoin, kaisais, like a cup. Vikitoniais, vitzloichiais, like these bottles and cups, all sorts of things that you drink from. But it's a cold for soda or for water. Madichon, you rinse it off. Umadbilon, and you put it in the mikvah veim toyer. 2 steps. But if it's a pot that you used to cook something, kigoin ayoros, like pots, vakumkamusin, like kumkums, like a kettle, umechami chamin, like urns. So talking about urn, I remember when I was in Hebron and I asked them to get me a picture. One guy was going to drive who knows how long. Baruch Hashem, they found a picture. There's an urn in Hebron where people were just standing around over there, and a terrorist decided to shoot at them, and 30 bullets went into this urn. And it saved the people that were standing outside over there, and they call it now, if you know, in Hebrew, they call it Nescafe. And the guy that shot the terrorist is a famous singer, Uri Davidi. He was a chayal then, and he shot him. Anyway, Magilon umadbilon ve'im tohir. So you have an urn, and you have a pot, so you have to do hagala. What's hagala? Hagala, we know, means you boil up water and you put into boiling hot water, like this dude right over here without the thing. This is Libun. This is in Bnei Brak. This is Moshe Cohen's father, the guy that started the Bnei Brak thing. That's him right over there. Okay. You do hagalas kelim. What's one step more than hagalas kelim? Libun, burning it up. But these guys that are directly on the flame, now you have to do libo and you have to blow torch it. And listen to this. After you blow torch it, you have to do tvila. Interesting. Then it comes tar. All these cases that we just said. So if it's a brand new kli, you never used it, you have to do tefillah. If it's a kli that you used it, let's say you made a chont in it, the guy made a chont in it, a stew, you have to do hagala. And if it's a skewer you bought from a guy, if you didn't do it and you used it, so think about it, Rabbi Isai, never happened to you. You bought, your wife bought a kli you didn't know, and you cooked in it. And then, you didn't do tefillah. Okay, I'll do tefillah tomorrow. But what about the food right now? And everybody says, I have a freebie, one freebie, two freebies. I put it outside by my porch, I make it hefker for 2 seconds, I come back inside. What do you do? Is it also to eat the food? Anybody that says also, raise your hand. Anybody say mutter, raise your hand. Only, you don't say also, you don't say mutter, you're confused. Mutter. Hillel! It's machloikis, Rabbi say, come on.
What are we asking?
Says the Gemara. Tani chada asur, betanya idach mutter. Let me ask you a question. Why in the world would it be asur to eat food that you cooked in a brand new pot? If you cooked food in a pot that a guy made a stew, so I'm concerned about whatever it absorbed before the bli ice went into your food. But why make food asur? So Taisus says, "Laman detani mutter noket shapir." I understand, it's great, mutter to use. Actually, yeah, man detani asur, ein la asur, ein la asur. Even the shtamish bekoyim tefillah. Why would there be an isur? He says, maybe, perhaps, the gazer, otu koydem hagala v'libon. Maybe people get confused with the kalim that are used by the guy. So that's why a brand new kli from the box. Also, if you made food in it without tefillah, you might have to throw it out according to this man d'amar. So, but we have, it says in one place, not man d'amar, it says in one place that it's also one place the food is mutter. Like Ashia. If we take one thing from this Masechta, just one thing, Rabbi Isai, would be that we're not scared of the word noisen tam livgam. We have no trauma from that. What does it mean? If the food that's absorbed in the walls of the kli gives a terrible flavor, it's a shaila, it's a machlokes, whether or not it ruins the chalt or not. If there's a dead mouse in the chalt and it's a disgusting flavor to the chalt, does it ruin the chalt? Noisen tam livgam mutter. One man says, it doesn't ruin the chalt, it's disgusting, it didn't add anything to the food. The other one says, I don't care if it's disgusting or not. Tachlis, at the end of the day, this is treifa in your chalt. So, that's the answer. The reason why the food is asur is because you're right that there's a bad flavor, but bad flavor makes the food asur. The other one goes according to Mandam, it says that adding a bad flavor is mutter. There's a question that we had already, we addressed it. Here we go again. Chazara. If you hold that a bad flavor is okay, so then why in the world did the Torah say that when you capture vessels from Midian, you have to do agalas kelim? They're all old and they have terrible flavors. There's no need to do agalas kelim. What's the answer? You're right. It's a Peladic thing. This whole parsha in the Torah is only in case you're at war and you found the kli and it's that same day, within 24 hours, you want to use it right away. Then you need to do agol. Because the first day, there's no bad flavor. And for that, I need to do agol. So if so, it comes out that any day afterwards, it should be mutter. You don't need to do agolas kelim. So if you know for a fact, just wait one day. Instead of going downstairs into the agolas kelim line, wait one day, control yourself, don't use it for 24 hours, and then you don't have to do anything. No, gzera gdeira, sheina bas yoima, mishum gdeira bas yoima. You make gzera on all kelim. V'yidach. Now, according to the Madonna, it says, noitis in the tam of gam is asur. How does he learn it from the pasuk? Maybe the pasuk is talking about on that first day. Noitis in tam of gam asur. Maybe when the Torah says you have to do a hagala, is referring to the first day, and the first day has a good flavor, and maybe the Torah says it's asur. Where in the world does he learn that on day 3 and 4, where it gives a bad flavor, that's still asur? Says the Gemara, because even on the first day, let's say the guy cooked a little pork in there, and it's 7 hours later. It's disgusting. It wasn't refrigerated. It's 7 hours later. It's on the same day. It still gives off a bad flavor. Nevertheless, the Torah says that it's asur. So you see, it's not gam asur. Fine. That's the end of that sugya.
That's why they say on Shabbos you milk for one of the reasons. Because Jews became Jews. All their pots before were treif, and they couldn't cook in them.
Oh. Okay. Givaldik. You had to wait 24 hours. What? They could have done a gala. Are you not allowed to do it on Yontif? I guess not. There's mistaken. It's but it's melacha for oichel nefesh. I don't know. Probably you're right. Okay, so we learned that this stuff, the stuff that goes directly on the flame, you have to do libun. Melabdim ba'ur. Very, very simple.
It says you should come to Goy.
Yeah, this whole sugya is that you bought it from a guy. Here, kli guy, it even says here. Kli guy, you bought it from a guy, you have to do libun. Now when it comes to kachim, which Rabbi say, Hagdam to kachim, even Harius is a lot of kachim. So we're starting right here. Kachim. These are karbanos. Nothing to be worried about, easy stuff. Karbanos. You bring a carbon, a person is Mechal Shabbos by mistake, brings a carbon chatos. A person, let's say he, what's his name? Shmuel, that was saved from a terrible accident. Where is he? I don't know if he's here today. Eli Berkowitz, his son. So he brings a carbon taida. So now, in a carbon taida, any carbon, there's a certain amount of time that you're allowed to eat the carbon. The most is 2 days and a night. The least is 1 day and a night. Chatos is 1 day and 1 night. And shlamim is 2 days and a night. What happens after that? After that, if you eat it, what do you chayiv? Karas. It's called noisar. Leftover. Okay. So every single pot that you're going to cook your chatos steak in, because part of it goes in the zbech, part of it goes to the kehanim, every single one, every shlamim, the pot eventually is going to become noisar. Because it has blias, it has absorption in the walls of the kli, and 2 days later, those absorptions flip into noisar. So how are you going to cook in that pot again? So the Gemara says, it says over there in the Mishnah, kachim, check it out, you do hagala. Is that not a problem? Huh? I spelled it wrong. I did that this morning. My bad. I don't know. Hello? It's misspelled. What are you looking at me like that? Gimelayin. Let's see you fix it real quick. So it's a question. It's a stira. It's a contradiction. You have a pot that has goyish food in it in the walls. You have to do libun. You have a pot that has noiser in it, and you have to do hagala. I think, if anything, it should be the opposite. Noiser is chorus. You should do libun on noiser. I'm still waiting, Gershon. Ma'abaya. Okay. Says the Gemara. Hashabut v'askola magilam b'chamin. You do hagala. Now, let me just show you Rashi real quickly. It's important. Haskalah shetzol ben basar kodesh, like a carbon mishum dechi asi lemocher avenoiser. You come the next day, it flips into noiser. The skewer that you're using, the stuff goes out, the taima, the flavor. You got to remember that noiser is karas. Okay. Omar lei. He asks him contradictions. He tells him, Amram Bri, my son. My son means not my son. It just means like my friend. Achi. Oh, Yivaldik. You might have to change all of them, my friend. Thank you. So he says, I don't understand. Your question is not a good question. There's no connection. Over here by the karba, when you put it into the pot and you're cooking something that you're allowed to eat. Later on, it became asur. Hasam isura bala. Over there, the guy's stuff was always asur. The chazer that he cooked was asur from the moment he put it into the pot. Omar Rava soif ki kapalet. What's the difference? Isura kapalet. I don't understand. We're not talking about what he put into the pot. We're talking about what he put out of the pot. I mean, if you put in milk and then you put in meat, you put in good stuff. But yeah, great. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the blias. In the wall of the pot, you have chazer, and in this wall of the pot, you have something called noiser. They're both terrible stuff. Elo marava, maya gola nami shtifu marika. Says Rava. No, you don't understand. It's the same thing. They're both libun. Here. This is, when you buy a kli from a guy, you have to do libun. When you have kachim, you have to do libun. But in addition to the libun, you have to do something called hagala, which means to rinse it off nicely. It's actually a chumra, you're right. Because it's kachim and it's karas, you have to do a little bit more. And how do you wash off a pot in those days? With cold water. Hagala b'chamim. But the word hagala literally means to boil it. Where do you come up with the word hagala that it means that you have to rinse the pot out? No. What is happening is as follows. Check out this chart right over here. By us it says libun, but you have to do hagala also. Over there it says hagala, but you have to do libun also. In both places you have to do two. By us we said libun, and by them they said hagala. And we learn one from the other. Yagid olav. I learn from us, from our sugya, you learn that you must do libun. And from that sugya, you learn you must do hagala. And in fact, you have to do both. Which I don't understand 100%. I don't think, check it out. You'll see that you probably discussed this thing. Libun is the most extreme form of kashering. The fact that the Gemara said yesterday that it turns the clean to brand new. So then what are you doing hagala after? What do you gain by the hagala? Okay, to be discussed. Huh? Mitzvah melech. Okay, mitzvah melech, I see. So we were zocheh to be in Europe the year before we went to the safari. The guy was the MDY trip, and we were in Krakow. And by the cave of the Megala Amukos, there's a very interesting thing there. And the person gave us a speech. I looked it up yesterday. All the graves are like this. Suddenly, by the foot of the Megala Amukos, there's a grave, a sideways grave, a small little grave, and here's the matzeva. It's very strange. And it says on the matzeva, Yagid olav re'oi. Mamish like this Gemara over here. So the story is like this. It's a very long story. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, and there's parts of it that I don't understand 100%, so ayin sham. But it's a story about 400 years ago, and it includes the Bach, and there's different sources to the story. Basically, a guy shows up in Krakow, goes to the Gabbai of the shul and says, listen, I heard you have a grave right there by the Megala Amukos. I heard you own it. I want to buy it from you. He says, absolutely not. Back forth 100 times. The Gabbai thinks to himself, look, I'm an old man. I'm going to die. I'm going to jump into this grave. I'm going to get the grave. And who's this guy? Nobody even knows his name. He takes the money from him and doesn't even write his name anywhere in the books, in the basic forest books. That's it. He took his money. The next day, that young guy died. He died. So the guy got all confused. What should he do? He takes him, buries him in a small plot over there in the cemetery, away from the Megala Amukos. That night, this guy comes to this guy in the dream and says, you wronged me. I bought it from you. It's mine 100%. I want to be buried over there. So he went to the Bach, a whole story with the Bach. They put up a mechitza. He spoke to this one, that one, the whole thing. Bottom line is the Bach said, you don't have no choice. And that's why something about how he got there, I'm not even going to say how it says it in the story. I don't want to get into that. But the bottom line is this fellow was buried at the end of the day by his feet, by the Mgal Amuk is right there, but they don't know his name. So it says on the caver, Yagid Olav Re'ah. His friend will say who he is or whatever, and that's it. That's the end of the story. His thing's there till this day. Elo Marava. Chachim. We said Yagid Olav Re'ah. Then what? Each one, again, so what's Yagid Olav Re'ah? Just not to be confused. Each one teaches for the other one. Our sugya teaches that sugya teaches our sugya. We have a bottom line. Both need the same exact thing. Hagala and Libun. Great. Another pshat. Elo Amar Rava, sorry. Amar Le Rava, Yahachi, Lisninu Lekula B'choda, V'lisni Choda B'idach. It makes no sense what you're saying about it. Do this. It should be like this. Say both in let's say by Kachim. And then I'll learn that both apply also in our sugya, and say one word. Why are you saying one word here and one word there? At least say both of them. Say the full halacha, Hagala and Libun by one. You want to save words, you're stingy on words, so be stingy in one out of the two places. But at least say the whole thing in one place. I never heard of such a thing. Saying half halacha here and half halacha here and combine them together, that makes no sense to me. And then say Yagid Olav Re'ah. Elo Marava, Kachim Hainu Tamayu Kedu Reb Nachman Rav Ravua. The pshat is the Omar Kol Yom V'Yom Nasigil L'Chaveir. Unbelievable. Every day in the Beis Hamikdash they cook in this pot. So every day they're removing the bad flavors embedded in the walls. Every day, over and over, every 24 hours.
What's the answer?
It doesn't help for a taida.
Whoever learned the daf before, please don't ask questions in the middle share. Hold up.
One day and one night. The next day it's already nice.
Okay. We're going to get to all your questions. What?
How's that answer?
How does it answer?
No, the question. Let's go back. Hold on. Okay, good question. What was the question? No one knows what the answer. Why libun and why hagala? The answer is by kachim. You constantly boil it. You're constantly doing hagala, so there's no need to do libun. Libun is when it stayed there for 24 hours. But in the Beis Hamikdash, it's constantly being used, so you don't need to do libun. Only need to do hagala.
So that's why I only said one word?
No. It is only one word. It's only hagala by kachim. Why? Because you're constantly using it. There's no blias. There's no blias by kachim. What's the problem? That there's going to be nicer in the pot? You're boiling it up every day. It constantly removes the blias. There's nothing absorbed in the wall. It's never nicer. So then what's the question? Rabbi, so what's the question then? Why do you have to do hagala?
Your kasha.
That's a bomb kasha. Why do you have to do hagala then? No, the Gemara says kasha. I have no answer. I got to stop for a second. Say shalom aleichem to the guests. Let's do this real quick. What's your name?
Eddie Rosencrantz.
From?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Shalom aleichem. You're new here? Not really. What's your name? From? Cheshbonim. Shalom aleichem. Welcome. Your name?
Ruben Rothman.
From?
Marshall.
From Marashko. Shalom aleichem. And you? From? Lakewood. Shalom aleichem. You?
Lance Solid.
From?
Modi'in.
Modi'in. I just watched it yesterday because there was a guy here from Lakewood. I don't have time today to say the story. I said, I'm going to show you the story. I asked him his name, but I didn't realize we have great technology here. It picks up the voice. It's strong like anything. When people talk everywhere, it's just... who else is new here? Brand new people. I saw some new... Shamalai, what's your name?
Brian Meyer.
From
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. You know this dude?
Yeah, we came together.
You came together? You're sitting on opposite sides of the room?
British people.
Very nice. Thank you for coming, guys. You guys are new. Shamalai, what's your name? Shamalai, from? Muncie. And behind you, what's your name? From? The Chemesh. And next to you? Father. Shalom Aleichem. You seem like you're like a coffee shed. You know, like I'm for you. He brought me here. I don't want to be here. Shkoyach. Thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing him. Weiter.
Tinach Shlom.
Teinach Shlomim. Okay, this makes sense. That if the noisar is a 40 or 36 hour noisar, everything makes sense here because it takes 36 hours to go into effect. The kivin l'shnei yomim misachli, you can eat it for 2 days and 1 night, 36 hours. Mikamed in a heavy noisar kahavigil. Before it's able to take effect, the shlamim meat become a bad meat, become a noisar meat. you're already boiling it up for the next carbon. Great, because it took 36 hours. Check this out. Yoshi did this. Why not? Check this out. Shlomim, it goes all the way up to here. You have 2 days where the clouds are and 1 night. And then it falls out, it becomes noisar, it becomes bad. A chatos, oops, I did it too fast. Chatos is only 1 day, 1 night. Then it falls out and becomes noisar. So the Gemara asks, check this out. Within 5 minutes of my post, 2 people had already signed up for a free Gemara. Everyone should post, in other words, status. Come out of your comfort zone. Rabbi Yaakov Levitin, the zone head counselor Yishkoyach. I put it in there on purpose in between the 2 things so I don't forget to say it. So it says the Gemara, when you cook a chatos in a pot, check out what happens. When does it become noisar? The blias happen right at the end of the first night. When are they going to cook up this pot again? That morning sometime. At least 2 hours in. You have to do a carbon tamid, you have to do this, then you shecht, then you do zrika, and then you cut the animal into parts. 2-3 hours. It's too late. The blias already are in the pot. If you cook the chatas in that pot, the Gemara's teres, it doesn't work. What are we saying? That we're constantly cooking new stuff in it. But you cook the chatas. And then the blias happened at the end of the night. Right before Netzachama, boom, let's call it Netz. You want to be, okay, Netzachama. 5:30, boom, blias. Next time you cook something in there is 8:30. Too late. You're cooking in a pot that has blias. What's the Gemara's answer? That if you ever cook a chatas, we immediately cook a shlamim afterwards. You use the pot for a second time that day. You're also new. Shalom Aleichem. You're not new? Shalom Aleichem. You're not new. You are new.
You've been here 2-3 times already.
Okay, that's not enough for me. Yeah. Shalom Aleichem. Oh, and your name?
Usher.
Usher Bigelay? From? Lakewood. Shalom Aleichem. Givaldik.
That's the answer.
So that's the answer. So we have more than 1 million of guests here today. Givaldik. So that's the answer. Yes?
It's not a pot, it's a spoon, right?
Yeah. You're right. You're 100%. You're right. I said it before. You're right. We're talking about things that go on the fire directly. A pot is not the greatest example over here. Yes. We're talking about a shpud. Correct. Thank you for coming. You should come more often so that we have these corrections. No, he's right.
Now you're being this man of the shlam. With the tam b'chatos in it.
When after? No, you're doing the opposite. You're doing chatos and then you're doing shlamim afterwards. Shlamim afterwards. I don't know. It doesn't work like that. There's no blias. It constantly boils it out. I don't know.
Burns it out.
There's no time for the blias to happen. There's no time. There's no time. The kosher blias. While you're doing, okay, fine, let's go. I hear you, Shiloh. Good, Shiloh.
Get to the end.
Yes, we have to get literally to that. Oh, since the chatas is only eaten for 24 hours, for a day and a night, when you cook the chatas first, then it becomes noisar in the walls of the kli. And to the next day, when you cook something else in there, so the blias in the wall pop out of the wall, but chatos are going to go into the pot of the following day. Amri, so they said, when you cook a chatos, you always have to cook afterwards a shlamim, and the shlamim lasts for 2 days and a night before it becomes noisar. The chatas but the adadiko shalom zimnayu, they're going to finish off together, and then afterwards you cook the shlamim of the next day. As the Gemara, the bottom line is, like you all asked, if you're constantly doing hagala every day you're doing it a bunch of times, why is it that you have to do hagala? Kasha, it's a good kasha. Rabba Omar, to answer the contradiction between these two things, again, how come when you buy a kli from a guy, a shapud, a skewer that goes in the fire, you have to do libun, and when you have something like that from kosher with noisar in it, you only have to do agala. Rabba Omar, high karid, the kli that you buy from a guy, the food gets hard in there. Hi, like karid. But it's similar to what we were saying before. But the kosher stuff, the noisar doesn't get hard because you're constantly using it. Memela hagala is enough. Rav Ashi Omar, in fact, we're going to go back to the original teretz. It's a Gavaldik teretz. Lo Olam Kidei Amar Mikara. The first teretz of Rav Sheshes. Hacha Teir Bala, Hacha Yisur Bala. The guy's kli has pork in it. That's Isser right away on the first moment. The kosher one, the kachim, was a Gavaldik carbon chatas, a beautiful carbon. Just 2 days and a night later, it became Aser called Noiser. You know what? There's a big difference. Oh, the kashi look in the kapal, the sur kapal. But you said, but what difference does it make? Doesn't make a difference. There is a problem in the walls, and when that spits it out, they're both problems. One is pork, one is Noiser, but they're both terrible problems. No, but in the kapal, like easily sur be'enei. Gavaldik, says the Gemara. You put in the carbon into the pot, and then you ate the carbon. You left, and when you put the carbon in the pot, it was kosher. No problem. Just what? There were blias in the wall. By the time those absorptions and blias in the wall became a problem, the actual meat was gone, it was consumed, it was eaten hours ago. When you put pork in the pot, it's usher on the first minute. It's pork. Put it in. Chazer, treif. So there was something visible, tangible. There was something tangible when you put it in. Over here, there's nothing tangible. I'll give you a murdik mashal. Tell me if it's a good mashal. Let's say you cook pasta, chametz, on a random Tuesday. The pasta is 100% kosher. You're going to eat it that night. Then you eat it that night. But 2 days later, it's Pesach. When you put it into the pot, it was kosher. 2 days later, there's something called chametz. And the blias of the pasta in the wall all of a sudden become a new isser called chametz. That's the same thing as here, as kachim. When you put it in, it was great. Later on, so the Rambam says it's not a good mashal. Other Rishonim say it is. The Rambam says no. Chametz was always chametz. Just it's mutter on a Tuesday. It's also on a day. Nothing changed with the food. Over here, something changed in the etzem food. It became something called noise. That's what the Rambam says. Anyway, fine. Weiter. But kama melabdom. What do you have to do libam? Omer Amoni Achetashi Klipasan. Check out this video. Beautiful stuff. Here, Achetashi Klipasan. You see this stuff. You see human beings touching these things. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they don't get injured. But over here, Baruch Hashem, there's a machine. Look at it. Boom. That's the klipa. You saw that? There's a little layer. Here, slow motion. That layer. That's the. Take that off. How do you do it? We know this. You take a small pot, put it in a large pot. Ask the Gemara, what if it's the yeshiva's shalom pot? How do you do agol in a yeshiva's shalom pot? Toshma, da'u duda dahavei be'rav akavyo, ahadele gedanfo delisha apuma. You know what you do? Here, you check this out. A beautiful Yoshi. What's the problem in a giant pot? I could cook the entire inside of the pot. You know what the problem is? How do I get to the rim? The rim is strafe. And how do I get hot water there? You know what I do? I put a bunch of dough around, and then I do this. Okay. Now, when it bubbles up, it's going to bubble over and on top of the rim. What is it called? Rim. That thick, that we made it very thick so you can see. This part of the not inside, not outside, the top part. How do you get water there? It says Rava man chakim milsa. Look how smart he is. Elav Rav Akavi, the Gavi Rabbo, is a tremendous guy. What's the problem with the chon pot? That once in a while something sprays up and on top of the rim. So in Mela, I'll just spray some water up and on top. I don't have to boil it out like crazy, because it's not going to boil like crazy. It's a one moment thing. The dough's not going to hold out and hold the water there. Elamai, the inside of the pot, you cook for 24 hours, so cook it up, geshmak, make sure it boils and boils. But the top part, it's enough that once in a while it sprays a little water on there. A few little drops. Sponsored by Adar Global Specials and International Financial Services. Anonymous, L'zech Nishmas Reb Chaim ben Reb Elazar Ashkenazi. Anonymous, in gratitude to Rebelli and MDY for promoting Avos Yisrael and Avos Yisrael. Says the Gemara.
What do you need the dough for? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do you need the dough for? Exactly.
No, the dough according to higher rate. You don't need it. Let's hold it there.
Hold it a little bit. Hold it all around equally, so all sides. Hasakin shofa v'itohira. Shh, guys, calm down. Hasakin shofa v'itohira. You have a knife. You have to sharpen it. You have to rub it down or whatever it's called. You put it 10 times into the ground. Different things here today, but whatever. Like this.
Hey friends, look what this guy is
like
doing.
As if it's a video, as if a YouTube video.
9, 10. Oh no.
No, it's based on a real story that a guy was in a hotel and he had knives and he had to capture them. So he comes out of the hotel room with 2 knives in his hands. And they called security on him. Like, no, I'm just going to capture. He had to explain himself, but it looks weird. Like, I know you're doing something, but if you're staying there with a knife and
it looks weird. Don't walk around.
No, and stop punching the ground, stabbing the ground over and over, and then you get up and you look at a guy weirdly with the knife, and like you just finished stabbing the ground, and now you're looking at him. Okay. It only works if it's not soft dirt. If it's soft dirt, you didn't get anything. You have to like shove it into the ground where it's really hard. It's a smooth knife. It doesn't have like little indentations. You put it in the ground 10 times. And this is only to eat it cold. And then I guess we could stop here. We'll say this at the. I would like to say it because there's people that are watching now. Let me say it so that I won't say the last word. Yehuda bar Yehuda Ubati bar Toivi. There's 2 people. Mar Yehuda and Bati bar Toivi. Have Yasser made the Shover Malka? They were sitting in front of the king, a goy, who knew halachas of the Jews. I said the Kamay Yisrael. They brought in front of him an esrog. Pasak v'achal. He took a piece off and he ate for himself. Pasak, and he took another piece. V'avle Bati bar Tuvi. He gave it to one of them by the name of Bati bar Tuvi. Hadar. Then afterwards he sticks it in the ground 10 times and makes it kosher and takes off a piece. Hadar dotza. So and he gave it to Mar Yehuda. Omar Bati bar Tuvi. He's very insulted. When I'm not Jewish. I'm not from. What are you treating me like a guy? You gave me a piece before you kashered it? I didn't realize you're Jewish. You're wearing a baseball cap with your tzikaz at the payas. I didn't know that you're Jewish. He said to him, Itker mayavad. I'm not going to say the last word. Rashi says, I'll read Rashi, Derech pasim limsor noshim lachsanoim. The guest, they used to give women to their guests. He didn't accept the women, so he's a kosher Jew. You accepted them, so I figured you're not so makbid on kashrus. Taisa says that he was a slave, and Mamela was mutter for him. Rabbi Sai, Mazel Tov, and have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.